few weeks ago when I scheduled myself for a 1 p.m. notary appointment, I assumed that I would really just be up and at 'em by that time. It wouldn't be too early for me, and today I slept in until 12:15, which if you know me, you know that that is very irregular. So we'll get into all of that in a second. But what's most exciting and what you might be here for with our little starting the week as a 9 to 5 social worker is I have my application, to make sure I'm not showing anything I shouldn't. I have my application to become a licensed master social worker. Licensed master of social worker? LMSW. There you go. Associate license for social worker. This is my application. Which, if you've been around, obviously you know I just finished getting my MSW in May and am starting a new job. I guess technically I've already started. I just feel like it's still new. Where I'm working as a mental health clinician at Juvie, jail for adolescent males, and I'm getting licensed. So basically, and this doesn't show anything it shouldn't. This is the little application checklist that they printed off. I'm in Georgia, so that's who I'm applying to. And the things that I need, which I have some of, I don't have all of yet, are I need my notarized application, which is what I got notarized today. I need the fee, which I need to get a money order, and I haven't done that yet, so that's still on like the to-dos, but it's $110 to apply. I need my degree transcript, so I'm like sending a thing to Fordham to where they'll be able to send my transcript directly to the Georgia board, so it's official. I don't even touch it. And then the actual application itself, which I can't show you because it has, you know, my address and social security number on it. Can't see that, but the actual application itself. And then this page is like part 2. It's the professional background, and essentially it just asks simple questions like yes, no questions. Are you unable to practice safely as a result of the use of alcohol or other drugs? Have you ever been denied professional licensure? Those kinds of questions. And then the second part is just asking like, have you ever held a social work license before? And then you put your number if you did. Did you receive a master's degree of social work? And did you complete a practicum or internship as part of your degree program? And then there's just like an affidavit you have to sign saying that either you're a US citizen or you have some sort of document that can prove that you can work in the US. And with that, I'll have to send them a copy of my license. There's like a little fly flying around. Flea. And then the only other things are 2 references. And so I sent my references to my previous supervisors. One of them filled it out and then sent it to me, and I printed it off, so I'll send that with it, and then I'm just waiting on the other one. So it's not quite ready to send in yet, but I wanted to give the little licensing update that it is coming together. The things that I have to do still are get Fordham to send my transcript, get the $110 money order, and then my second reference put in here. And after that, got myself a big ol' mailer folder and I'll mail it off. So this is so different state to state. For Georgia, it can take a second to get approved once I even send it off. My goal was to make it by the July board meeting, and I don't think I'm gonna make it because the board meets, I think it's like the first Friday of every month or something, but everything has to be received and mailed in 2 weeks before that to make that board meeting. So I think it's a lot more likely that I'll make the August board meeting, and then the board will meet in August. And then if they approve me, which I don't think they have a reason not to, then I can schedule and take my test. Anyways, how I was mentioning waking up at 12:15 today, that is because my sister's bachelorette party was this past weekend, and it was in Denver, so it was really fun just to see her, obviously, have a good time with her. And then she had friends there from just like all different points, like she had an elementary school friend, high school, college, me, sister. So it was a really great weekend. But that being said, my flight was really late last night out of Denver, and then it also got delayed because there's like a miniature tornado that touched down near Denver Airport. Denver Airport's a mess. If you don't know conspiracies behind Denver Airport, look them up because they're really interesting, but didn't have to do with my delay. There was like a miniature tornado that touched down, and so it just created this like backlog of gates and flights and people in the airport. And so what was supposed to be an 8:55 flight took off around 10 p.m. Mountain Time, which is midnight Eastern Time. And so I finally landed around 2:45 in the morning, like this morning, in the AMs of today. Got an Uber from the airport back here, which was a Tesla. My first ride in a Tesla. I felt very bougie, very fun. And then I really just didn't end up falling asleep until about 4:30 this morning because I think at that point my body was just like, no, we don't sleep. Why would we do that? We don't sleep anymore. So it was hard to fall asleep, but I did. And then, as I said, missed the entire morning this morning. Woke up around like 12:15, I believe. Went to make my notary appointment, got groceries. Have just been trying to like settle back in. You can see I always have laundry, but I'm also washing my sheets today, so that's another thing. I was really looking forward to my first like week in the life working as a social worker video, and so I wanted to start it on Monday because today is Monday. Obviously, I didn't work because I knew my flight was going to be late, and I knew that would not work out for me. But the rest of the week, I go in. And I'm really trying to get to a place today that sets me up for success as I go through the week. So the goal is to get that laundry away. That's literally my goal every single day. And also just like move back out of my suitcases. Because if you remember from the previous videos, like the recent videos that I've posted, I traveled from May 11th until like May 30th. And then I started work, and I worked for about a week and a half. And then I had this weekend. And so I'm ready to fully settle. Zach's still not here, so if you're looking for him this video, he comes back on Friday. So you'll have to wait till the end and we'll get Zach back because it's been over a month since we've like for real hung out. I saw him for about 2 hours whenever we were both in Columbia back in late May. So it's kind of weird to go from living with your significant other to literally not seeing them, but he comes back Friday. So very excited for that. As you may be able to see, I never actually did move my toiletries out of their travel size things and into their regular size things. And then the second thing that I haven't done yet is put my sheets back on the bed. It always seems like a really great idea to wash sheets until this very moment where I'm very ready to go to bed and my bed is not made. I think I did pretty well today for the circumstances, like arriving home at 3:30 last night. It is 10:03 right now, and really my entire plan is just to make this bed and then get in it and fall asleep so I can kind of get a good start back into the work week. I do only work 8 to 1 tomorrow, which is exciting. Like, I guess just like the soft insert back into the work week. I don't know if I've mentioned it yet this vlog, but this is an hourly position, and so it is 29 hours per week. At least at the moment it's 29 hours per week, which kind of breaks down into 3.5 work days. Eventually I'll work weekends. I'm not working weekends yet though, so it's 3.5 work days throughout the 5-day week, and so that's what Wednesday through Friday will be full days for me this week, and Tuesday was off, and it's just kind of different week to week in how those days lay out before I start weekends. I am very glad to have had this day to rest and recharge because I think I do feel rested and recharged. There's always the chance that tomorrow is when the tiredness is really going to hit me because I did fine today, like I said, given the circumstances. So just fingers crossed that I'll be able to wake up tomorrow, because going from west to east is always harder with time zones than east to west whenever you're trying to wake up in the morning. Regardless, I'll see you then.
This is it, and I swear there ain't nothing better. We're up and we're out in the perfect weather. I just wanna run away with you.
Tuesday morning, it's just about 8 a.m. right now, and I am getting ready to head in, getting my license out. I have to take my ID in to work every day. Leave my phone in the car. Got a lunch, even though today's a short day, because last time I didn't bring a lunch, and I ended up being starving by the time I was leaving, so brought a lunch today. I woke up at about 5:45 this morning, just like naturally, so I don't really know what's going on with my sleep schedule, but we'll figure that out later. It's a problem for whenever I fall asleep at work today. Home from my short day. It's really crazy staying till 1, but it was a good day. I honestly did not do much at all. Just kind of reacclimated, kind of saw like what changed since I've been gone, since I was off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then I stopped by the library because I had to return one book, and I was going to have to return this book because I reached my renew limit on it and it was 3 days overdue, but I was able to talk the staff guy into giving me an extension because it's a thick book. So of course I'm not done with it, especially because I got like 10 last time that I went. It is a good book though, The Rose Code by Kate Quinn. I'm like just under halfway through right now, but it's a World War II fiction story, follows women who are working as code breakers and also like their personal lives and everything. So I'm not all the way done at all, obviously, but it is good so far.
I just wanna run away with you. Don't you wanna know that the time's changing? Don't you wanna know that the ride is yours?
Got a good workout in, just did like full body, like just some legs, some arms, etc. And then did 12-3:30 on the treadmill and read my book that I got to keep, woohoo. And I did get home and drank my protein, and I did get on my work email, which you know you're not supposed to do when you're at home because work-life balance. But we're still figuring out some scheduling things just since I'm new, and like figuring out when I'll start weekends and all of that. And so I did just check to get an update, and I did get an update, so it was good I checked. This is my little outfit though, because I am about to head on a little first date with a friend. I feel like it's like I've never really done first dates. I've had one first date in my life, and then I'm still dating him 6 years later. But with friends, I feel like it's the same feelings as like a first date, where it's like, are we gonna run out of things to talk about? Like, will we click? I don't know. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. I think it should be fun though. We're going to Krog Street Market, which is just like a food hall in Atlanta, and they're gonna walk on the Beltline. So I feel like that's enough like sort of activity and being around that like it should be pretty easy to like have conversation flow, and like it's not like we're sitting down in a restaurant going on like an actual date. But remember from my MSW experience and like my reflection video and everything, I really sacrificed my social life during my master's program, and having moved to Atlanta for my grad school, I have met like really cool people here. I've just really been awful at follow through and consistency, and so haven't necessarily like created and sustained really good friendships. And so a year later after I moved, I'm still here trying to meet new people and everything. But the girl I'm going with also said that she moved a year ago because her boyfriend lived in Atlanta, so I feel like we have that in common, so it kind of helps out. But I'm a little bit nervous also because I have to parallel park. I feel like it's such a cliche to be bad at parallel parking, and I think I can do it, I just never need to, so it's a very out of practice skill for me, but it should be good. I'm looking forward to good food. I'm really hungry, so.
Don't you wanna roll away? Don't you wanna roll?
I am full 100% melting right now. The heat advisory in Atlanta is no joke, but it was a good little like friend date. I ended up getting there a little bit before her because remember I always leave early so I can park places without stress. I did park just fine, don't you worry. But I got there a little bit early and found some Father's Day cards. Like I was just browsing around and it's like, oh yeah, probably need to grab some of those. So grabbed some of those, and then we went to a Mexican restaurant, got some enchiladas, and they were good, and then walked on the Beltline for just a little bit, and I melted. I absolutely melted. I feel like I even just look a mess. I don't even know what time it is. It's like 7:24, so I still have a little bit of the night, which is good because as you know, I haven't like fully moved back in. I want to get my toiletries back in their like regular things, not just the travel things. I want to get my suitcase put away, so I'm gonna spend some time doing that. Maybe we'll read just a little bit more tonight, but overall a really good day. I'm definitely gonna shower again because I showered after my workout like before coming and have melted in the meantime. So for context, it's really, really cold in the office that I work in, like shivering all day. And just from walking out to my car, I'm already dripped wet. This heat advisory is no joke. It was a good day at work today. Relatively slow, but nothing like too much. I sat in on their anger management group, so it was kind of just cool to see like how they do that because I'm not running any groups yet because I just started, as we all know. Gosh, it's hot. I do think I'm going to go to Chipotle for dinner because it's just really calling to me, and then we'll catch up more whenever I get home, but I have got to be in AC. I'm not even that sensitive to heat usually. I don't know what I'm pretending like this is doing in my 110 degree car, but my car is reading 118 degrees Fahrenheit. I know car sensors aren't always right, but that is 118 degrees. I noticed that my phone case looked kind of weird. Like it genuinely kind of looked like it melted. I don't think it did, but then my phone overheated. So I don't know when that clip cut off, but I am at Chipotle now to get my Chipotle. I cannot explain to you how hot I am. Granted, like I am very lucky to have AC. It's working overtime for sure, but we're struggling out here in Georgia. I think everyone's kind of struggling though. Like from what I've heard, people back home in Missouri, it's super hot for. People in New York City, I've heard that it's super hot for, so blessings to you all because it's not feeling good. I did get my Chipotle. It is warm. I wish I'd gotten a drink. I like never think to get drinks with meals because I'm always like, oh no, water's fine. Like I'll just drink water. But that could have been nice and refreshing today. Today was a good day at work. It was nice being there for a full day. I kind of just did paperwork type things. My caseload is down to just one kid, which I mean, I'm not like begging for more work. I know that it'll come with time, but there's another one that I think will be getting moved over to me too soon. And there's an assessment that maybe I'll do. I'm not sure. So I might be up to 3 by Friday, by the end of the week. We'll just see. I really have no idea. So I mostly just spent some time like going through papers and like making sure things were signed where they needed to be and like dates were right where they needed to be, just because that kind of thing is really important, especially with the liability of working in mental health, as you maybe can imagine, but just with anything that we have to sign, like if there's ever a kid who needs to be watched extra or anything like that, you can kind of imagine that it's important to notate that you check on a kid when you check on them because you want it to be documented when they're okay. You know what I mean? So a lot lot of that, hung out with some of the kids. I'm getting to know them better. It's nice now, like walking down the unit. Like I did rounds. Oh, I forgot to mention that. So today I did rounds by myself for the first time, which really is not that big of a deal. When I was an intern, I felt like it was a big deal because I felt like there was a lot riding on me. I mean, now it's chill. I really don't have to do that much, but it was my first day doing them while I was here. But walking like on the unit, because all of the boys were in their rooms because it was like after school, so they got transferred from school back to their rooms. So I was like walking down the unit and I recognized almost everyone, and the ones that I didn't recognize, I knew it was because they were new, so I knew to ask like, oh, what's your name, you know, how long have you been here, everything. So I mean, that's progress, because even last week I was like, who are you people? I don't know you. I'm just gonna sit. I have my laptop at my desk. If you didn't subscribe to me during grad school days, you probably haven't seen my desk view yet, because I don't really sit here that much anymore because I don't really have a reason to. But I'm gonna do just a little bit of YouTube work. I do want to work out today. If it doesn't happen because it's just so hot, then it doesn't happen, but I do have the goal to. I definitely need to eat first though. Do some YouTube work. I'll probably read some today because I'm still liking my book, and overall pretty chill. I feel like there's always talk about, I don't know, like post-grad and moving into working life, and how people are sometimes like, oh, a 9 to 5, like that, can't imagine anything worse. And granted, mine's not a 9 to 5, like there will be more variable hours, and I am still working 2 jobs. You just haven't seen that yet because I took some time off. I forget if I mentioned that this video or the last video, but I took some time off from my tutoring job just because I didn't know what jail job schedule would be like, so it's going to start again in July. I am still working 2 jobs, but still this feels really nice because I'm used to doing all of this at jail, plus grad school class, plus grad school work, plus my second job, and then I guess plus YouTube too. And now it's just jail job, YouTube, essentially, and then like hobbies that I can fill my time with after work is done for the day. So having a regimented work schedule is something I'm definitely more grateful for than not. Just so you know what kind of morning it was. Today, I usually leave around like 7:30, or I have been whenever I've been starting at this time. And today I was sitting at my breakfast table until 7:15. Not busy, not doing a lot, just sitting there. And so then I was in this mad rush, and now my forehead's out to play for the day because I did a little slick back ponytail. And other than that, it's really not chaotic. Like that's really kind of the only thing. Today, let's see, we have a treatment team meeting, which is just like every Thursday. And then they also have a Father's Day event tonight, which I don't know if I'm going to or not. There's a chance I'll stay late to go to it because like, obviously I'm not a father, but like the male staff, some of them are like volunteering to stay to like partner with some kids who maybe won't have male figures coming for them, and so I'm gonna kind of scout out and see if anybody else needs somebody. So there's a chance that I'll get off late today, but I'll probably be okay. I also have 40 miles left in my gallon, and I'm really putting off getting gas, but that's probably gonna have to be a today thing as well. I feel like the next few weeks or days, let's have it be days of vlog, it's just gonna be me being absolutely throttled by the heat. I did put my phone like under my car seat today because I think maybe it was gonna help the heat, and it wasn't overheated whenever I came out. I didn't have a problem with that, so I think it maybe could have been a better idea. I don't know, but today was a good day. I feel like I was kind of busy throughout the day, but like everything got done. At least I hope. I always worry that there was just something. Okay, no, actually there is something that I forgot. I'm gonna need to email myself that. You just watched an entire thought process happen. I'm always worried that I like have actually forgotten something I need to do. Today I genuinely did forget something I need to do, but it's like, it's not a big deal. It's not late or anything. I'll just need to remember and do it tomorrow. Tomorrow I go in again, 8 to 4:30, little like 30-minute break in the middle. Today they had a father-son like event, which I thought was really cool because Father's Day is coming up. And so they made sure that like each youth that got to participate had someone who was there for them or with them, whether that was like a dad or a father figure from the outside, like an uncle, a brother, someone, a cousin, or that they were paired with a male staff who worked there. And so it was kind of some of each, where there were some people coming in from the outside, and then all the youth got dressed up. So they had on like black pants and a white button down and a bow tie, which it was all decorated, and they catered in food. So I didn't get to stay for it. I just saw the beginning because fortunately I'm not a father. And like I said to this morning, I thought they might need extra help. They didn't need extra help, which is great. Like the fact that they're not, I don't know, needing that. But I did feel a little bit left out. I was like, oh, this is so fun. And people could be like, oh, they did it for Mother's Day too. No, I wasn't there. I hadn't started yet. Gotta do it again. Like 4th of July, can we do this? It looked a lot of fun though, which is good because I think that means that the kids will be having fun. But work-wise today, I did another assessment. I did like some paperwork I need to do for one kid. We had our team meeting, so that went well. I didn't actually have to present anything, so I just sat there and listened to people. And yeah, overall still feeling good. I still feel like kind of more chill than I'm used to, but like that's good. Like I like that. Yes to chill. I am sweating and starving and probably super thirsty, so I'm gonna heat up some Chipotle that I have left over from last night. Honestly, probably like drink Gatorade or something because I feel like I'm just out of like electrolytes or something based on all the sweat. I filled up on gas on the way home, so that took me a bit longer to get home. I hate getting gas. It's just like, it's my thing that I do. and strongly dislike every single time, but it was fine. And it only cost $50 despite the gas price shindigs happening, because Kroger fuel points helps, and then also the fact that my car holds 12.5 gallons makes each fill up not be as expensive as like 25 gallon tanks. My heart goes out to you guys out there with them big cars. I took a little nap, which was unexpected, at like 7 p.m. It was probably like 7 to 7:15, so it was not at all a huge nap. Like, it definitely was a little nap, but why did that happen? I do not know. So many times when I'm vlogging, I just entirely like skip night times, which I mean, it's fine because I just kind of chill out and relax during night times, but I figured I would kind of show a little nighttime routine right now just because sometimes people like to see it. I'm still living out of my travel toiletries. Don't count the amount of times I said I was gonna switch things back to their big containers and not be living out of travel toiletries anymore, because it's been a lot that I haven't done, but there's barely anything left in here. So face wash, I've used the same face wash for probably going on about a year and a half now, CeraVe, and that's what's in here as well, but this is what I use. I talked to my esthetician cousin about this face wash because I like to run skin things by her before I buy them, and what she said basically is that with CeraVe, the ingredients are pretty neutral, and so like it's a good just kind of base. Like, it's not going to necessarily irritate your skin or like dry out your skin or do any of that, but it also doesn't necessarily have like helping powers or ingredients for your skin. Like, it's kind of just a good way to keep your skin at its neutral. So she was saying that like it's a good one to use if you then are wanting to use like serums or toners or something different if you have skin goals. With face washing, I only ever just use my hands because it's gentle on you, you know, just splash some water on there, do a little scrubby dub. But then the other things I've been using, because beauty influencer, I've been using this like under eye cream. I don't know if it does anything. I feel like maybe it's helped some because I used to like always notice my like dark bags under my eyes and just like, I don't know, just like looking tired all the time. And I feel like I haven't noticed it necessarily in myself that much lately. So maybe that's a testament to this eye cream. I've only used it for probably like 6 weeks or so. Next I use my Moisturizer, which is also CeraVe, just the regular old daily moisturizing lotion. I'm a huge advocate for moisturizer just because I feel like it makes you feel like you're taking care of yourself.
It's on you to decide if something changes.
I usually brush my teeth next because I feel like it gives my like moisturizer time to set in. I think that's probably fake. My esthetician cousin, I love talking about her tips because it makes me feel like I'm a pro. Actually suggested washing my teeth before I wash my face, and I always kind of forget, but she says that since I tend to break out like around here, and you can even see that now, and I kind of just have forever, she said that toothpaste could irritate that more, and so it's kind of good to like, if you're going to get toothpaste on your face, to then like wash your face after instead of just having toothpaste sit there. Like I said, I usually forget that. Maybe that's something I'll start to try to get better at, and we'll just see if it changes me. I'm still using my travel toothbrush because I feel like I've formed a bond with it by now. Are you a Crest or a Colgate person? Because I am 100% through and through a Crest person, and I don't trust Colgate people.
Say bye, 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 bye.
Next, super crucial and part of a routine, putting my retainer in. Can't let 5 years of braces and 5 bajillion orthodontic surgeries, oral surgeries, bone grafts go to waste. If you ever want me to tell you the story of my teeth, let me know. Okay, but next is where it gets fun. Argan oil. I read that it can be good. Esthetician cousin tip number 7. Don't let the oil dropper touch your face because then it just like gets and spreads bacteria.
When you're stuck in chains, well, nothing changes.
Now for the actual fun part, I've had this linked down in my description for like a couple months now, but I haven't talked about the actual serum because I wanted to use it before I like said it was good or anything. But a.bea.s sent me this like essential serum. It's packaged differently now, like this is an old package, and they also just recently lowered their prices, which is cool. But basically this is just an eyelash serum. You just like put a little stripe on each eyelashes every night or so. I feel like it probably took maybe like 3 to 4 weeks before I really started to notice a difference, but I definitely have noticed a difference. I don't know if this camera will really... Okay, we're so super up close and personal right now. I don't know if you can really tell. But I posted like before and afters on my Instagram story before, so check out a.bea.s if you are looking for a lash serum that works. Okay, that was fun. Let's do it again sometime next year whenever my routine maybe has changed by then. I really like, if you ever have any recommendations or like something you swear by, like sounds good, let me know. I've never really been like a true material girl, but I try to be, or at least I try to pretend to be. And even stuff with like, oh, like a super in-depth like good skin routine or something, like I don't feel like I've ever had one and I'm like, oh, I've just like figured out my skin type and now this works for me. But I feel like it'd be fun to have that. So if you ever have anything that like this is incredible or like a good resource or anything, help a girl out, let her know. At this time tomorrow, Zach will be home, which I'm really excited about, very ready for. As I mentioned earlier, this video has been over a month since we've like actually lived together, and I've only seen him once in that past month, just with like how vacations worked out. And remember, we both graduated, so we both were like celebrating in different ways a little bit. So are you excited for Zach? Yeah, me too. That was like a Dora moment. I hope you answered. I hope you said yes, we're excited for Zach. I think I'm just gonna read for a little bit. It's about like 9:20 right now, and so I won't stay up too much later because I'm trying to slowly get myself back to sleeping earlier, just because like after the trip this week and everything, I've just been getting tired later, which then means I'm sleeping in later in the mornings, which is fine, but can turn a little chaotic, kind of like this morning whenever I was just sitting whenever it was time to go. I'm obviously still reading Rose Code. I feel like it's probably obvious since I showed you where I was at earlier this week and still had like 300 pages left at that point. But see you tomorrow for Friday. Anna versus the Heat, part 579. And I'm losing again. I'm also super bummed because remember how Zach's supposed to get home today? His flight originally was going to get in close to 3, and so he was going to be home by the time that I got home, and they canceled his flight and put him on one that was 7 hours later. And so change of plans. Friday night is lasting longer than we originally expected because I am going to pick him up at the airport at around 10, which is about 5 hours from now. So it's okay. I'm just bummed. I was really bummed this morning. I feel like I've gotten over it a little bit because like obviously now I'm home and he's not here, so I don't know. It was bummy though. Man, I need to come up with a new word. What are some synonyms for bummy? I was disappointed. Today was a good day at work. Nothing too busy again, and I got everything done. So the things that I forgot to do yesterday that I remembered once I got back home, I did complete. So that was good. And then I got to see all of the kids in my caseload, not like necessarily 4 individual sessions, each of them. I did 1 individual counseling session, and the other ones I just kind of checked on and talked to, calmed them down about some things that were going on in their head, all of that. Just try to be support. The counseling session that I did today was the first one that I did with that kid because he's new. Because remember how at the beginning of this week I had 1 kid on my caseload and I said I might be up to 3. I am up to 3 now. Got my 3 kids, which is the same amount of kids that I had when I was an intern, but now I'm here more hours each week, which is, it's nice. It's really good. I've done a video before talking about like what I do in counseling sessions, especially like the beginning ones, the first ones, and so it's like a day in the life of the social worker one. I can put it up in the sky if I remember to. But basically I just spent today kind of like establishing rapport, just kind of like laughing and joking with him as I could in our session, and then he didn't have any outside experience of counseling, so we just kind of talked about what counseling can look like and the things that we can talk about in the future, and like obviously if he ever has anything specifically that he wants to discuss, like he can disclose that and talk to that about me, or if there are like any goals he's working towards or something. And so some common goals that people mention sometimes is usually the boys are working towards their like high school degree or their GED, so sometimes we'll talk about that. But on the more emotional side, lots of them will struggle with anger to where it feels like anger can control them, where they aren't always themselves or making their own choices whenever they're angry. And so we'll like talk about that and do some anger management. Lots of the boys come in with lots of trauma, and so trauma is definitely something that is prevalent but also difficult to treat and needs to be done so with care. And so usually if we know someone won't be there for that long, we won't necessarily like open up that bag, because whenever you open up the trauma bag, you have to close it really carefully too. Whenever trauma is something that will be discussed in counseling, we kind of work on talking about sort of like what happened, and then like go over any emotional responses that might happen, and like not normalize it necessarily, because like not normalizing the things that happened that were traumatic, but like in someone's own brain, like kind of getting used to going through what happened and talking through what happened and putting a narrative to it and identifying like how what happened still affects them, or how what happened like doesn't affect them, like ways they've like overcome and everything. So trauma is an interesting one. We don't do that in the first sessions, but that is something that can come up, obviously. I'm at a critical point for food, and so I'm gonna get something to eat, and then I guess we'll just figure out how to fill our time before it's time to go get Zach. His flight got delayed again since the last time we chatted, which means that I am all worked out. I just did cardio today. I don't know why. I just got there and like got on the treadmill. Usually I'll do weights and then get on the treadmill, but for some reason I just walked in the gym, got on the treadmill, so I was like, well, I guess this is what I'm doing today. So I did 12 through 30, and then I popped on the elliptical for about 25 more minutes, which is a really long time. I definitely don't do all of that every day, but I was reading my book, and so I just really got into it. But came back here, had some protein, showered, and like entirely ready for bed, and I still have over an hour before I'll leave to get Zach because he is now getting in at 10:38. which I guess honestly means I'll arrive to the airport a bit after that, because 10:38 is when the plane is supposed to land onto the runway, and so it'll take him a little bit longer to get to the cars. I was so excited for him to be home today, and I know that he will still be home, but these past few hours have felt like the absolute longest thing in the world since it was delayed. If he had like always been originally just getting home at 10:30, then I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, like no worries, but he was getting home. It's okay. It'll be okay. In literally an hour and a half's time, I'll be with him, so it's okay. But that being said, as you can probably guess, my book has been good. I feel like it's been a side character of this vlog. I have this much left of it, so it's like just over 100 pages, and I'm planning on just sitting here and reading, essentially, until time to go get Zachary. What a fun Friday night. Something I've been trying, and I feel like it's an attitude I've had for a while, but it's fun to actually put it in action, is just not being stressed after work, which definitely is easier and harder depending on like the job that you do and, you know, the environment there and everything. But I know I've mentioned it in this video already, but not having grad school class or work to do after being in jail all day is just freeing. It's so freeing. That will change come July. I'll be teaching my tutoring classes again, and it'll be up to 4 nights a week, 3 hours a time, which will be money, but might be a little bit painful. But it also is just making me enjoy these moments even more so. So let's read and hope the next hour goes by really quick.
I just wanna run away with you. I said I just wanna run away with you. Don't you wanna know that the tide's changing? Don't you wanna know that the ride is yours? Don't you wanna roam away?
I always feel awkward now whenever you're actually here.
Yeah, you should.
Even though you watch me talk to a camera for forever. Anyways, Zach's home.
Cool.
No, you want to say anything about where you've been? I've just been lonely. That's where I've been.
I've been having the time of my life.
He's gone all over the place. Florida, cruise, Bahama, Dominican
Bahamas.
Republic,
Yeah. St. Thomas, St. John.
and then Missouri,
Oh, yeah.
and then
To Alaska, Anchorage, Juneau, and then Admiralty Island, and went fishing for 5 days.
no, that is awesome. I did a full week vlog this week, so you'll be able to catch up on my life
Oh, fantastic.
of my new job. What do you think of my new job?
Stellar.
Thank you. What else? In other words?
Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Thrilled.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Was, especially with the...
I haven't mentioned that yet. I'm cutting that.
Oh my gosh.
Cutting it out. No, yeah. So flight was delayed. What time did you probably 10:30 is when you landed yesterday?
Yeah.
It was probably like 10:50 or so by the time I actually picked him up. And then back home by like 11:15, and then slept until like 10 a.m. this morning. Yeah. Well, this vlog started on Monday, so I slept till like noon on Monday, and then I slept till like 10 today. It's a whole new person out here. Plans for the rest of the day?
Pick up my car, go get groceries. Nothing much.
Hate to end the vlog here when there's so much action coming up. So much fun and action. You got anything else to say?
No.
No. Should I end it here?
I mean, as you're grimacing, probably yeah.
You're only bye.